conus arteriosus. It is present on the ventral side of the heart. So the ventricle opens into a sac-like structure which is called as conus arteriosus on the ventral side of the heart. Hepatic means something related to the liver. So from the liver to the intestine there is a connection of circulatory system which is called as the hepatic portal system. By contraction and relaxation of method of the heart, the blood is received into the heart and it is sent out of the heart. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to this session on First PUC Biology. I am Dr. Divya, Biology Faculty, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysore. So in this session, let us learn about vascular system in frogs under chapter 7, that is structural organization in animals. So we learn about the circulatory system and the lymphatic system, that is the blood circulatory system and the lymphatic system, and move on to learning about some of the MCQs under this particular topic. So to begin with, let us learn about the circulatory system, like how the blood circulates in the heart of the frog. And we all know that the frog's heart is three-chambered, right? Wherein it is made up of two upper auricles or atrium and one ventricle. So therefore it is three-chambered. So it is a muscular structure which is situated in the upper part of the body cavity, that is almost in the thorax region of the frog. And it has three chambers. This is very important. So it is two atria and one ventricle, and the entire heart is covered by a membrane which is called as pericardium. So pericardium is the membrane covering the heart. And looking at the structure of the heart, that is inside what it is made up of, it has a triangular structure which is, it is triangular in shape and it is called sinus venosus. So this structure, that is somewhat, it is triangular. So if you can see this structure which looks like a triangle, it looks like a funnel as well, right? So this is called as sinus venosus. So what is the function? We'll study later. So function of sinus venosus. So it actually joins the right atrium. So this is the right atrium or the auricle. So we can also call it as the atrium. Don't get confused with this. Auricle and atrium both are one and the same. So right atrium and we have the left atrium or the left auricle. So this sinus venosus that is there, if you can see here, it joins the right atrium. So it continues and joins towards the right atrium. And its main function is to receive blood. That is through the major vein which is called as vena cava. So which is the major vein that is present in the heart of the frog? It is vena cava. So the function of the sinus venosus is to receive blood from the right atrium, that is through the major veins called vena cava. So through these veins which is called as superior veins or the major veins, that is vena cava, from these two it receives the blood, because these two veins, that is the vena cava, that is the two major veins which are the vena cava, which carries the blood. So all the blood that is there, it will be received by the sinus venosus. So this is the region that which is a triangular structure. And the ventricle. So we learned that the right atrium, the heart is made up of three chambers, two auricles or two atriums, and one ventricle, right? So to the right atrium, it connects to the sinus venosus, which is a triangular shaped structure. What is the function of the sinus venosus? It receives the blood from the right atrium through the major veins, or it receives the blood through two major veins which is called as the vena cava. And the function of the ventricle. So ventricle, it opens into a sac-like structure which is called as conus arteriosus. So this conus arteriosus is present on the ventral side of the heart. So conus arteriosus is present at the ventral side, that is back portion of the heart. So therefore it is not visible. So it receives the blood. So that whatever blood is there from the venous, that is conus arteriosus, it is present on the ventral side of the heart. So the ventricle opens into a sac-like structure which is called as conus arteriosus on the ventral side of the heart. And the blood from the heart is carried to all the parts of the body by arteries, and it is called as the arterial system. So blood is received from the parts of the body through major veins called as vena cava. From there, the blood is collected by the sinus venosus. We have seen about it. Now, from the heart, the blood is distributed to all the other parts or organs of the frog through arteries, and it forms a arterial system through veins called as arteries. And the veins collect the blood from different parts of the body to the heart, which forms the venous system. So the heart of the frog functions by two systems, that is the arterial system and the venous system. So the function of the arterial system is to carry blood from the heart to different parts of the frog's body, and the function of the venous system is to collect all the blood from different parts of the frog's body and bring it to the heart. And there are special venous connections between the liver and the intestine, and it is called as the hepatic portal system. So hepatic means something related to the liver. So from the liver to the intestine, there is a connection of circulatory system which is called as the hepatic portal system. Similarly, there is a connection between the venous connection between the kidney and the lower parts of the frog's body, which forms the renal portal system, wherein renal means kidney, related to kidney. So these are the different circulatory system in the frog. So next talking about the blood or the blood circulatory system. So what is blood? What it is made up of? So blood contains plasma and cell, whereas the plasma is the colorless fluid which actually acts like a defensive mechanism protecting the body of the frog. And we're talking about the blood cell. It is made up of blood cells such as RBCs, WBCs and platelets. So RBCs, which are also called as the erythrocytes, which forms the red blood corpuscles or the red blood cells, and then the WBCs, which are called as the leukocytes, which forms the white blood corpuscles or the white blood cells. So these are the WBC, and then we have the RBCs. So this is how they look like under the microscope, and they are stained. So RBCs, they are nucleated. This is important for 1 mark question. Meaning they have a nucleus. So RBCs have nucleus. And what is the shape of the RBC? The RBC is convex shape. This is also important. You need to remember it is convex shape. It has its own nucleus, it is nucleated, and it is red in color because it contains a pigment which gives it the red color, which is called as hemoglobin. And hemoglobin is very, very important because it contains heme. That is, it is made up of 4 components of iron which actually help in transporting oxygen from the lungs to the heart and to different parts of the frog's body. So for that, hemoglobin is very, very important, and therefore the function of the RBC is to carry oxygen to different part of the frog's body. So next, talking about the functions of the blood. So there are 2 important functions. So this can usually come for 2 marks question. The blood carries nutrients, it carries gases, and also it carries water to respective organs in the frog's body during the time of circulation. And the circulation of blood is mainly achieved by the heart, by the pumping of the heart. That is, by contraction and relaxation of method of the heart, the blood is received into the heart and it is sent out of the heart. So pumping of blood actually helps in the circulation of blood from the heart to the different parts of the body and from different parts of the body to the heart. So these are the functions. So next, talking about the lymphatic system. So lymph is a colorless fluid and it is different from blood because it is colorless and it lacks most of the proteins and RBCs. Because they do not have RBC, they do not have hemoglobin, therefore they are not red in color. And the lymphatic system, like how we human beings have lymphatic system, wherein entire body it has these lymphatic system which forms a network. So these are the lymph, wherein all these are the lymph nodes. these round P-shaped structures that are there, they are the lymph nodes, and they actually help in defense mechanism. So any pathogens and all that enter the body, the lymph nodes will swell and lot of WBCs will be sent to the lymph nodes and will start to attack that pathogen there, trying to kill it. So that is one of the function of the lymphatic system in the frog. So this was about the vascular system in frog, wherein we studied about the blood, how the blood is circulated, the structure of the heart, and also we studied about the lymphatic system. So next, let's look into the MCQs. So the heart of frog is dash chambered, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it is amphibians, they are 3 chambered. So heart of frog is 3 chambered. Next question, dash is true about the frog's heart. 2 auricles, 1 ventricle, 1 auricle, 2 ventricle, 1 auricle, 1 ventricle, 2 auricles, 2 ventricles. So we know that the heart of frog is 3 chambered, right? So this option we can remove because it is a 2 chambered heart, and this also because it is a 4 chambered heart. Now we have to check between option A and option B. So the frog actually, it has 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. Option A is the right answer here. Next question. The membrane covering the heart is called, it's called pericardium, because vena cava is the major vein that is present in the heart, that is connected to the sinus venosus, which is a triangular structure, and epidermis is nothing but the skin. So therefore the pericardium is the covering of the heart. Option A is the right answer here. Next. Major veins in the heart of frog are, which are the major veins? Sinus venosus is a triangular shaped structure which receives blood from the vena cava, which forms the major vein. So therefore, vena cava is the right answer. Conus arteriosus is a structure that is present on the ventral side of the heart. So this is not the right one. Arteries are the main function of arteries is to carry blood from the heart to different parts of the body. So therefore, major veins that are there, that is veins to receive blood, is vena cava. So option B is the right answer here. Next, the function of arteries is receiving blood to the heart, carrying blood to the atria, carry blood to the ventricle, carry blood to different body parts. So it is carry blood to different body parts. So which forms, I told you, it forms the atrial system, right? So the main function of the atrial system is to carry blood to different organs of different parts of the frog's body. So next question is, the red colored pigment in the RBCs are, or they can ask, instead of RBCs, they can ask erythrocytes, because RBCs are also called as erythrocytes. So the red color pigments are erythrocytes. Now because one more name for RBC is erythrocyte, it is hemoglobin. Plasma is a colorless fluid. Platelets are the clotting factors which help in clotting of blood. It is hemoglobin, that is Hb, which actually imparts red color to the blood. That is the red blood. Next question. Which of these statements is true about the lymph? So a number of statements, 4 statements are given here. We have to find out which is true about lymphs. Lymph has RBCs. No, it doesn't have RBC. Lymph doesn't have many of the proteins. Lymph lack RBCs and none of the above. The answer here is they do not have RBCs. That is option C. Next question. White blood cells are also called as erythrocytes. No, because RBCs are called as erythrocytes. Leukocytes, B is the right answer. Platelets, no, I told you, because it is the clotting factors. Plasma, it is a colorless fluid or colorless component of the blood. So here, or it will have a somewhat light tinge of yellow sometimes. So therefore, your right answer is leukocytes, which are also called as WBCs or white blood cells or white blood corpuscles. Next question. A thin-walled triangular chamber attached dorsally to the heart of frog is known as. When you read this triangular chamber itself, you have to understand what the answer might be. Truncus arteriosus, you don't have to worry about this because it is not there in the NCERT textbook, not mentioned. So you can eliminate this option. But still, the reason why truncus arteriosus is not correct is because truncus arteriosus is a tube-like structure which is connected to the right side of the ventricle. So therefore, this answer is wrong. Option A. Sinus venosus, yes, this is a triangular structure that is there in the heart. So it is a triangular chamber which actually receives blood from the major vein, that is the vena cava. It's not atrium because atrium is the upper two chambers of the heart. It's not ventricle because it is the lower chamber of the heart. So therefore the answer here is option B, sinus venosus. Next question, which of these is true in frogs? Hemoglobin is present in RBC which is biconvex and nucleated. So this has something to do with the RBC of the frog. So the shape of the RBC and whether it is nucleated or not. So hemoglobin is present in RBCs which are biconcave and nucleated. So option B, actually the RBC in frog is, or the hemoglobin is present in RBCs. Of course, in everywhere the option is, that is the first half is correct. Hemoglobin is present in RBC. Yes, the RBCs of frog has hemoglobin. So what we have to look here for is whether it is the shape and whether it is nucleated, whether the shape of the RBC and whether it has a nucleus or not. The shape, the RBCs are biconvex and it is nucleated. This option is correct. Next options, if you have to see, it is biconcave and nucleated. Nucleated is correct, but the shape is not biconcave because it is biconvex. Here option you can see biconvex, it is correct, but enucleated meaning it doesn't have a nucleus. So therefore no, it has a nucleus. This option is wrong. Next is biconcave and enucleated. Both are wrong because it is biconvex and nucleated. So therefore the right option here is option A, biconvex and nucleated. Next question, what is the shape of sinus venosus? Spherical, irregular, triangle, cylindrical. It is triangular in shape. Next question, the ventricle of frog opens into conus arteriosus, sinus venosus, vena cava, hepatic portal vein. It opens into conus arteriosus which is present on the lower side of the frog or the ventral side of the frog, that is conus arteriosus. Vena cava opens into sinus venosus. Remember that. Vena cava is the major vein that opens into sinus venosus. The ventricle opens into conus arteriosus. So the answer here is conus arteriosus, option A. So option A is the answer here. So this was about the session wherein we learnt about the circulatory system and the lymphatic system of frog, and we also got to know some of the MCQs under this particular topic. So I hope you understood the session well. We shall meet again in the coming session wherein we'll discuss a new topic and learn about the MCQs under it. So see you in the next session. Thank you.